What's up, peeps? All right, so Cadillac SRX 4 2.8 liter turbo. Something that I recently found out, and I'm glad I found it out because I could never figure out why this one was so different from the regular SRX. And there's nothing, nowhere, no type of info to really show you anything about this car. I mean, absolutely nothing. So everything I've been doing, I've been kind of just having to figure it out. But what I found out recently here is that the engine in this car is actually a Saab engine. It's a Saab turbo engine. So yeah, pretty interesting. So I've done a lot of stuff, but I hadn't been archiving lately. I've just been basically trying to get stuff done. And so I may snap a picture or two, but that's been about it. But I haven't been videoing and archiving like I used to. So I figured, since I'm doing a lot of stuff, maybe I should go ahead and archive some. So obviously you've seen I obviously already undid a lot of stuff. What I've done before now, not today in this setting, but I have changed all of the wheel bearings. Front, very simple, came right off. Back, I mean, literally split the CV axles trying to get the bearing off. It just will not come off, but it was fine because kind of want to change that stuff anyway, so change the rear axles. But yeah, I had to take the whole knuckle off in the back and get those done, but definitely worth it because they were all bad. Car sounded horrible. It was extremely loud. Couldn't even talk on the phone while in the car because you couldn't hear anything, and vice versa. So did that. Changed the oil temperature sensor. I mean, the coolant temperature sensor. On this car, it is placed in a weird place. Let's see if I can see it. So, okay, I don't know. Let's see. All right, you see that? Where the connector is going to? I know it's not focused on there. Good, let me see if I can get it to focus. I can't really get it to focus, I'm sorry. So basically, all right, you see the dipstick, the oil stick right here. It's the oil cap, oil stick. You see this connector going down. And it's going to a, trying to say it. Okay, a little flashlight, see if this will help. This little flashlight to get it. Okay, that's a little bit better, maybe not. Man, really try. Okay, that's a little better. So y'all see that little, what that is an actual, it's like a covering, a heat shield, heat shrink, a heat wrap rather. And under that heat wrap is the coolant temperature sensor. Now, why is oil there by the oil stick and all of that? I don't know. Thermostat is all the way. So yeah, here's the interesting thing about this car. So, trying to get this light, a little bit more light. All right, so here, obviously this is the turbo. There, I've already taken off the intake, the air box. I've actually pulled the air box out because I'm going to change the alternator since I got a lot of stuff out of the way. There's nothing wrong with the alternator, but it's never been changed. So I figured since I'm doing all of the stuff that I'm doing, plus I want to change the oil pressure sensor, which is something I've had for about 2 years and I just could never get to it because it is, where is it? Let's see. Man, I can't really get any good, let's see. If I can get this light to shine on it. I can't get any focus though. I'm sorry, guys. Can't get any focus. Let me see if I can cut this out with this help. Man, I know this is frustrating because I know when I be looking at videos like this, I be trying to move the phone for them. Like, move it over there. So I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. So you can almost see it. Basically, that little bitty. So you see, this is the alternator that you're looking at. All right, you see the battery connector. You see the clip. All right, you see the end of the actual ending of the alternator where the black is, and then you see that little bitty color of silver. And like I said, I know it's hard to see. I'm trying to do my best. That is where the oil pressure sensor is, and you cannot get any kind of socket down there. I tried a crow's foot, 1/16, 1 and 1/16, and you can't get anything down there to turn it. So basically, and they tell you basically you're supposed to take out the generator, they call it, of course, to get that little sensor out. So actually, that's literally why I just went ahead and got another alternator or generator. Now, initially, what the problem was, the reason I'm doing all of this is because the radiator went bad. Radiator actually started going bad about 2 months ago, and I bought some bars, stop leak, and it actually worked. Now, the same time the radiator was going out, the surge tank was going out, had went bad as well. It had a crack in it, so it was leaking from there. Stopped leaking from the radiator, but surge tank was bad. So I replaced that about a month ago, maybe less. Well, yeah, it's been about a month ago. But you have to take out the whole battery. Have to take the whole battery out. The battery box have to take out. And so when you're doing that, I called myself, was gonna go ahead and try to do the thermostat, which is under the catalytic converter. Now, in the regular SRXs, where this catalytic converter is and this turbo, that is all open space. There's nothing right there. I mean, literally nothing. So on here, different story. So you technically, like I had to take, you got a lot of heat shields. There's 2 heat shields that I took off. And I'll show you all that stuff in a second. But I took those heat shields off. I got 2 bolts on the thermostat off, but I couldn't get to the 3rd one because of this doggone catalytic converter. So I'm gonna have to take that out to get the thermostat out. But basically, I'm finna spend about a week doing stuff. Like I said, the problem initially is the radiator. But I said, you know what? Since I'm gonna take all of this out of the front, I'm just gonna go ahead and do everything. So I'm doing that, change the alternator, the belt. I'm gonna change the thermostat out. I'm going to attempt to do a fix on where that oil level sensor is leaking, which is a common problem on the turbo Saabs, which means it's a problem on here. But I'm going to attempt to fix that leak. I may take the oil pan out and I may not. It's another way to do it. But anyway, I just want to show you some certain things of how to do, how to get all this stuff off. I've basically taken out the fan shroud. And I said, you know what, let me stop and do a little bit of video. So here's all the stuff that's out. That's the upper tie rod, not tire, but TIE brace. Obviously the bumper is out. The top, as well as the top bracket that sits atop the bumper. That's out. The radiator support brackets. There's an air box and an intake. Of course, the top intake. Whatchamajig, I know what I'm trying to say. There's the fan and the shroud. Here are the shields. There's 2 shields. Those, and that's the air box. Obviously, that's the box that that's the plate that the air box sits on. I got all my bolts laid out over here so I don't mix anything up. Got them labeled, and then some of the bolts I actually got sitting with the stuff that it goes with. This tie brace. This is what goes right here across the front. So right here, and that goes across the front of. So it basically is blocking the. It's sitting on top of where the radiator and the cooling, the fan shroud and all of that sits. So, which means there's no way that you can really lift it right up. So I was trying, I said, man, let me just take this off. So it's just 8 bolts. It's 13 millimeter bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same on the other side. Take the bumper off. Well, I was like, can't show you where the bolts are because I have the bracket over there now. But that bracket would actually sit on top of this. But yeah, I think it's 6 bolts on top, 10 millimeter bolts on the top, and then you go in the wheel well. You turn your wheel to whichever way, hard. You know, this one on this side, you can turn it hard left, and there are I think 6 Phillips screws over here that go into the bumper. So you get those out. Same on the other side. I think it's 5 on the other side, and then there's one that goes. Let's see, where is it? Right here, actually. Sorry. Right where this seam is, there's one that'll go like right here. Right there. So a little bitty, like I think it's a 7 millimeter. A little 7 millimeter bolt that basically actually holds it in. You know, and then from there everything is just clipped. Just you pull the bumper, you pull it from here. You pull it, just click, click, click. Then I would go on the other side. I would go on the other side and pull it from the other side, and then from there, just start pulling it out. It's all clips. You just kind of pull it out gently. You're gonna have some connections that you're gonna need to take apart. You know, your disconnecting here will have to come loose. You have your washer fluid line that you have to take apart. I just kind of crimped it. So, I mean, I lost some of the fluid out, but I just crimped it so it'll stop. I took off so this is the hood latch release bracket. Took that off. There's 5 bolts on there. The top 2 are 13 millimeters. I'm sorry, top 3 are 13 millimeters. 1, 2, 3. Those are 13s. I still have? Yeah, actually, I still have a bolt. The bolt that's goes in the middle. It's actually still sitting in there. And then at the bottom, there are 2. I'm sorry. The bottom is 2 10 millimeter bolts, and that's they go in between these 2 holes. Now, what you have to be careful of when you take those out, make sure you got something to catch them, because otherwise they'll fall down in there. And if you don't have a magnet, then you will be out of luck because you ain't getting them. So thankfully I got magnets. I kind of knew they were gonna fall in there, but like I said, I got my magnets and got them out, because otherwise you can't get in there no other way. So you just have to go in them holes and dig them out. All these little seals, they just pop out with if you have a trim tool, you can just pop all of these little seals off. These are radiator, baffles and seals, air seals and stuff. So, trying to think what else I pulled off so far. Like I said, I've taken the throttle body pipe off so that I can move this bolt here. This goes on to here, just a 10 millimeter bolt. And so I moved that so I can kind of have a little bit of room to get up in some other places that I need to get to move some stuff. Taking this off of the air box, moved it to the side. This goes on here, clamps on there. Taking that off. This little pipe here goes onto the air intake that goes into the turbo, and then this little guy right here as well goes onto the pipe. Here's the connector for the fan shroud. And there's two little other connectors. I'm really not sure what they are, but they are connected to that tie brace over there. I'm trying to think what else I've done so far. Yeah, I think that's about it. So basically, like I said, got the new radiator and the alternator over there. So I'm gonna pull this radiator out, and of course on the where do these go to? Of course on the turbo, you know, you got your radiator, then you have your air cooler, air charge cooler. And so you can it'll actually kind of confuse you because you're like, you know, like, wait a minute, is that the radiator? But it's not. So you got some huge hoses going to the air charge cooler. So you almost would think that that's it, but that's not the radiator. The radiator is in front of that. So like I said, I haven't pulled that out yet. So that'll be next. But I'm just kind of, like I say, wanted to archive some stuff, at least to kind of show you how to get some stuff off to get to things, because there is nothing showing you anything in regard to this car. The bolts for the for the battery box, they are 13 millimeters, and it's 6 of them, I think. And then you have one that's actually connected to the car. I can't see it right now. Let me see if I can. Come on, right? Let's see if you can see. Yeah, you really can't see. Like I said, it's a hole right down there, but it's a bolt that goes right there, and that's how the plate comes out that holds the box. And yeah, that's how the plate comes out that actually holds the box itself. You take those bolts out, it comes out. I hadn't unplugged this. I mean, it's fine. I don't really need to. I can just kind of maneuver it wherever I need to sit it at. I wish I can get up under here to let you see. I don't know how much of this you can see. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see much. I can't see it. I'm just trying to hold it down there. But basically what I'm trying to show you is that's where the thermostat is located. If you see where there's black pipe, let's see, I can't tell because my hand is covering the camera, so I don't know what's showing. Okay, so that black pipe, that's basically the thermostat. Well, that's coming out of the thermostat. So that thermostat is up under there. And like I say, I got 2 bolts out the last time I was doing it, but I couldn't get to the 3rd one because of the catalytic converter. So I'm gonna take that off at some point, and I will come back and combine all these videos. But again, I'm only doing this because there is no info at all in regard to the turbo model. The engine is totally different. In the obvious sense, it's a Saab engine. It is not the regular Cadillac SRX engine at all. So, so I'm gonna take, like I said, I'm gonna do the alternator. You gotta pop off the, there is a way you can do it without having to take off the motor mount, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it that way, I think. Just because I just wanna do it. I just wanna take it all off and see what I got. What's what I'm looking at. So, but I think you could actually just do it by taking the tire off, jacking it up, moving the wheel out of the way, and you can wiggle it out through there. And obviously, once I get the radiator out, and yeah, once I pop the radiator out, I mean, technically, it's sitting right there, the alternator is. So, I mean, there's the bolts, both of the bolts right there. I can, you know, once I move these hoses out of the way, I should be able to get to the belt tensioner. And well, actually maybe not. That's probably, now that I think about it, that's why I had to take the motor mount off. I don't think that I can get to the belt tensioner without, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to see what that third bolt is. I can't tell. Like I said, I have to move these hoses out of the way. Anyway, so yeah, that's yeah, this car is a smorgasbord. It's like they just crammed everything they could cram in it. Say, hey, let's try this. How about this Saab engine? How about let's throw this Saab engine in this Cadillac? So yeah, so if you have a turbo, that's what you have in it, a Saab engine. And basically anything you need to know about your Cadillac, you probably need to check out Saab to figure it out. Like I say, some of this stuff I just kind of figured out by tearing it apart. But some of it, the Saab forum did help me figure out. Because Cadillac definitely didn't help me figure out, which is obviously why, because it's not a Cadillac engine. Anyway, all right, I'm rambling. I know this video is long. You're probably like, man, you haven't even done nothing. But it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show you how you can get certain stuff off, because I'm about to do a lot of stuff. And I know I'm not going to video all of that. So I'm really just trying to show where things are, how to get things off. You know, the bolts, where they are, what sizes, those sort of things. I mean, I got a lot of tools, impact wrenches, torque wrenches, and air ratchets. Not air ratchets, but electric ratchets, rather. And that sort of thing. So those make it, oh boy, those make your world so much better. Believe me. Believe me. So if you don't have them and you're trying to do this kind of stuff at home, make sure you have some tools to do it. I'm telling you, they will change your life. Those things will change your life instead of just using a regular ratchet or socket. All right, peace. All right, so coming back with a little bit more. Let's see if I get some light. All right, so radiator's out. Got the hoses out. Got the hose from the pipe down there. That one's out. The two actual radiator hoses lower. Oh well, I guess I'm showing you something that's not there. I got those two out, and the upper. There's the T for the upper, and that is the T for the lower, as well as that pipe hose. And that actually, now that when I got everything out, that was actually the problem. That hose was busted. So probably didn't need an alternator. I mean, a radiator, but I mean, hey, as you see, everything's on the ground. That radiator looks pretty bad, pretty banged up, so that's all good. I had to take off the air charge hose to get the radiator to slide out. So basically what you want to do, you want to push down on the air charge cooler so that the radiator comes out of these where is it? Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it. It's the little clips. Oh yeah, so basically the radiator goes like under, the clips go under the radiator. I'm sorry, under the air charge cooler. So what you have to do is push down, hold on, think what I'm saying. I think I want to say you push down on the, crap, I can't remember now. Anyway, you push down on one and up on the other. I want to say it's down the radiator, up on the air charge cooler as much as you can. And I need to put some in there because I see a little drip. But yeah, push down and up, and then just kind of finagle it out as you can. But you have to take off at least that one air charge tank, and that's actually the one that's coming from the throttle body. So it's that pipe right there. I have taken off the motor mount, or engine mount, and the bracket. Those are 15mm bolts. You have to kind of move these lines a little bit to get it out, or for that nut, and then to kind of get the engine mount out. For the bracket, like I said before, it's really all about the tubes. You see this AC line right there? It is all in the way. So I basically had to come from way back here and have an extension long enough. And then my extension has little balls on it, so it's kind of pivot extensions a little bit. So it's not actual swivels, but they're just pivots. And so that was actually what helped me get it out. But now you can obviously see the belt and everything is right there. So I'm taking the alternator out. So I was getting ready to take it out, but I said, let me pause for a second. So I got the top two bolts out, which obviously they're sitting right there. Everything is wide open now with the radiator out of the way. The third bolt, however, is mounted into that pulley. So how clever is that? Again, this is on a turbo model. I don't think this is on the regular models, SRX. And like I say, this is a Saab engine. This is not your normal, run-of-the-mill whatchamajig. So here are two bolts from the alternator. And then I'm taking out the third one. Like I said, I made a pause so I could show what was going on here. Trying to see if I can get some better light. But yeah, basically, like I said, the third bolt is in that pulley. So you just have to get it out. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done so far. So yeah, I'm getting this out, and now I can go ahead and change this oil pressure sensor that I've been trying to change for 2 years. I've never been able to get to it because you have to take the alternator out, which is actually the reason I bought an alternator. There's nothing wrong with this one. So I will just kind of clean it and sit it to the side. Maybe I'll sell it, but there's nothing wrong with it. I just basically bought a new one because this has never been changed. And this car, it's pretty old now. And life expectancy 7 to 10 years maybe on these cars for these alternators. So I figured I'd just go ahead and get it. But two, I wanted to change that oil pressure sensor. So now I can do it. So anyhow, that's where we are. So I'm trying to think if I'm not missing anything. That hose to get off of that pipe. Where's the pipe? Yeah, where's the pipe? And I got this bungee cord basically holding the belt, so it won't go haywire on me before I'm ready to take it off. Man, where is the pipe at now? I don't see it. I see the throttle. Okay. I can't get the light to shine where I want it to shine, so I can show you. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I hate when this happens. I can't get it to focus where I want it to focus. It's basically trying to, okay, there it is. So that's the pipe. Getting the hose off of that was oh man, that was horrible. But I got it. I had to use a pick, angle pick to get it off though. 2 picks actually, to be precise. Also, another thing to note is I have my jack stand under the oil pan. So that's what's basically holding the engine up since the engine mount is out. So I have that under there because I'm telling you, I had the jack under there initially, and when I took that last bolt out of the engine mount, I mean, it was a drop. And I was like, obviously, like I said, thankfully had the what's the name under there already, but it was I seen it drop. It's like, whoa. So I just lifted it up some more just to make sure that I had good support. But yeah, make sure you have that on there if you're taking that mount off. But basically, to get to the belt and get to the pulley, the belt tensioner, all of that, you basically got to take that off. And it sucks, but you got to take it off. It will suck. And of course, I've taken the air intake and the whole box out. So you got to get that out. out of the way. So you have that room. So, yep, that's what's going on. Alternator is out, and there, my friend, is the good old oil pressure sensor. Well, I'm telling you, I've been trying to get to that thing for 2 years. So like I say, that last bolt for the alternator or generator, whatever your preference is in this guy, in this pulley. And there it is. Let's see if you can. Right there. That's where it goes in. So, yep. I'll tell you, boy, they sure know how to put stuff together out there. Anyway, yeah. Alright, just snapping a couple of pictures. Alright, back at it. So, changing the belt. I had to get a little creative with the holding the tensioner, so I wouldn't have to manually hold it. Just used a caliper hanger and set it in there, and that should work. So I think I already got this on here, but new alternator's on. Oil pressure sensor is swapped out. And so I'm gonna get the belt on, and then I'm gonna button this side back up as far as the engine mount and all that stuff. And then I will get to that side and try to get to that thermostat, which would be fun, not. And that'll be it. Pop the radiator back in. The hoses, all the hoses that I need will be here tomorrow, coming on a Sunday, thankfully. And so I'll pop the radiator back in. Yeah, that'll be it. And yeah, the thermostat is going to be the for lack of a better word, not so fun thing. Because like I said, all of this has to come off. The catalytic converter, it has to come out of the way so you can get to one bolt. I get to two of them, actually 3 bolts. There's 3 on the alternator. I keep saying alternator. There's 3 on the thermostat. Then there's one more bolt that holds like this, like a pipe that goes to some hoses or whatever that goes to it. So yeah, it's gonna be fine. Not. Anyway, just kind of wanted to show you my contraption for the whatchamajig instead of me trying to hold it and all of that stuff. So yeah, all right. And finally, after I don't know how long, years, I finally gotten this thermostat off. Had to take move the catalytic converter. Couldn't really get it out. And the exhaust turbo inlet pipe, which was actually cracked, so it had to come out anyway. It has a, see, yeah. So basically, it was smoking from the engine due to that crack. So it was making it run bad with that. There's a new pipe. New thermostat gasket. Alright. Am I putting this back in tonight? Probably not. This was a, man, because all this stuff is metal. These hoses that go in the thermostat, they're not rubber hoses, they're metal. So you gotta, it's tough. That's all I can say. I'll tell you, boy. All of this, battery box is out. All the heat shields, of course, are out. Heat shield in the back is out. The flex pipe is disconnected at the bottom under the engine. Like I say, the cat is off. Sensor is out. Yeah, this thing, man. Boy, to tell you the truth. Crazy. All right.